Going to be doing a duck jungle curry tonight. So jungle curry is it's one of those it actually came from the north of Thailand, and it's a curry based on what they could find in the jungle. So bamboo shoots, and the meats they would have maybe used is like wild boar or different wild birds and everything. I'm using duck tonight. And it's going to be, duck for me is the perfect thing for a jungle curry. It's absolutely delicious in there. But you can use whatever you like. You can use prawns, you can use chicken, whatever you feel like using. I'm going to go ahead and get this going right now, and because it's so easy to make. I'm just going to pour a little bit of, are we on the camera there?
Yep, we're going there right now.
Great, all right. So I've just poured some oil into this wok. And I'm going to go ahead and add some of my homemade red curry paste. So that's what you use in this. Now, generally speaking, jungle curries are a bit spicier than red curries, but that's because red curries have coconut milk in them, whereas this is more of a clear broth. And you do notice a bit more heat, and some chefs also add a little bit of chili powder to it, but I find it just with this curry paste it's plenty. I'm going to give that, I want to stir this for about 30 seconds or so just to get it going, just kind of cook out the rawness. There's some beautiful stuff in there. I mean, this is such a good curry for you as well. We got shallots in there. I mean, if you have the book already, or if you look at my blog, it's got lots of shallots in there, and lemongrass, garlic, galangal. It's a really nice base for a curry. And to that, now that's kind of cooked down a bit, I'm going to go ahead and add 500 milliliters of homemade chicken stock. You could use stock cubes if you have to. I hope you don't. But you could, because it won't make a huge difference. But if you make your own, you will like it better. I promise you. One thing about stock cubes is they've got a little bit more salt in them. So this has no salt in it whatsoever. We'll be adding the saltiness with the fish sauce, and there's also a little bit of shrimp paste in the red curry paste that I made. So I just want to bring that up to a simmer.
Kevin's asking how long does the paste keep for? I know we get asked that a lot. So
yeah, well, you know what, we've kept it for a good week in the fridge, and it still was really good. We also freeze it quite often. So if you're making a big batch, or if you have friends coming at the end of a busy week and you don't want to have to be doing that the day they're arriving, you can just make some up early in the week and put it in the freezer, and it'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so now I'm going to add the duck to this, and I'll show you the duck. What I did is I seared it. I seared it for 5 minutes, fat side down, and then I turned it over and cooked it for another 2 minutes. So as you can see, it's still quite raw. That's the way I like it. That's the way I'd be eating duck anyway. But we're going to go ahead and put this in here now, because it's going to cook for about 5 minutes.
Okay, Phil's saying what was in the paste, and that's just the red curry paste.
That's red curry paste that we've used there. So it's the red curry paste in my new book. And also, if you don't have the new book and you just want to try this recipe out, both the jungle curry and the red curry paste are on my blog, which is at greatcurryrecipes.net. So you can give that a go as well. So I want to simmer this in here for a little bit. And while we're doing that, just because we want to kind of cook it through, one thing that's worse than anything is duck that's overcooked. So I don't want to overcook it. That's why I add it quite rare. But we're going to go ahead and cook that for 5 minutes. That should be about good enough for it. That's going to make it really nice and tender. But we're also going to cook it a little bit longer with some vegetables. But while that's simmering for a few minutes, go back over to the other camera. And I'll tell you a little bit about what we're making next week. Next week we're making the yellow curry. So it's Thai yellow curry, also very popular. And it's one that a lot of people liken to a korma. So it does have a lot of ingredients that are seen very often in Indian recipes, but it also it's a little bit spicier than a korma. So I wouldn't give it to not every kid anyway. Some kids might be able to take it, but it is a bit spicier than a korma. But it is a mellow curry, and it's really nice with lots of coconut. And that's what makes this one different, because most Thai curries have coconut in them. At least the most famous ones, you know, the green curry and the red curry and the yellow and massaman, they all have coconut milk in them. And this is the exception, which is the jungle curry, which, to be honest with you, is probably my favorite curry there is, Thai curry there is. It's just I just like it. I like the spiciness of it. I like the look of it, because we don't add, it just stalks. We don't add any coconut, so it gives it a different appearance, and just those vegetables going into it. So tonight I'm going to be adding some bamboo shoots. You can just get these tinned, or you can get them fresh at a lot of Asian markets. I'm going to be adding some string beans and some sweet corn. And
we've got a couple of questions. I mean, John's asking, could you use chicken or prawns?
Yes, you can use anything in this you like. So I'm using duck, just because it kind of has a little bit of a gamey flavor, and because jungle curry is supposed to be things that are, are a little bit more wild. But you could use chicken in this. As a matter of fact, if you were to go out to a Thai restaurant, you'd probably be given a selection. You could have it with prawns, you could have it with chicken, beef. There'll be a lot of different options for you. So you can do the same thing at home and just make sure that, if you're, adjust the recipe yourself. So if you're adding beef, you might need to cook it longer than we are the duck, but that's fine. Just add a little bit more stock and you can do that.
Could you use coconut oil rather than sunflower oil?
Yes, you definitely can. In fact, that is something that would probably be done. I know it's difficult for some people to find coconut oil, so I don't use it when I'm doing these live cooking shows, but I do use it a lot when I'm cooking curries for the family and stuff. So yes, you can definitely use coconut oil, and I recommend you do if you like it. So we got this going over here really well right now. I'm actually gonna, I didn't add all the stock the first time around, but I'm gonna go ahead and add it now. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. So that, like I said, is 500 milliliters, 2 cups of chicken stock, homemade chicken stock. Just see how it has this really nice, clear, not creamy, but more of a red color to it. Now, to this, I want to go ahead and add my vegetables. Now, I'm adding my vegetables now because I wanted the meat to have a good chance to cook, and as you can see, it's cooked through now. So, and it was tender before I put it in there because it was rare, and that's the way I like my duck normally. If I'm having it just on its own, I like to have it rare in the center. But this is just now cooked through, so it's going to be good and tender. I'm going to go ahead and add some sweet corn there, baby sweet corn, some string beans, and some of those bamboo shoots that just matchsticked really. I'll just give that a nice stir in there.
Can you make this red paste without shrimp paste?
Yes, you can. A lot of people are scared of Thai food because they don't like the. I mean, I know a lot of people are allergic to shellfish and everything, but there's so many different things you can do with Thai food. And yes, you can leave the shrimp paste out. If a recipe calls for prawns, leave the prawns out if you don't like them. You really just. Way back when I first started learning how to make Thai food, a lot of the ingredients, at least this is back in the States, and a lot of the ingredients in other states, they just weren't available. You couldn't get them. But now, obviously, almost everything is available.
And can this be frozen for later use? I presume the whole dish, not just the paste.
This one would probably freeze just fine because there's no coconut milk in it. Yeah, you could freeze it, but I would really recommend making it fresh because that's the whole idea behind Thai food. Really, I mean, you can freeze the paste, and that's the most work. You make the paste. Once you make the paste, it's done. I mean, I'm literally just kind of sitting here stirring away. I'm not really doing any cooking at all. It's so easy. To this, I'm going to go ahead and add some green peppercorns, and that's one thing that's so important. I just love them. And I'm going to go ahead and add about 2 tablespoons of those. And at certain times of the year, you can get them not like that, but they're actually on the vine, and that's kind of nice just to throw them in on the vine because it just gives you a nice look.
How would you prep the beef if you wanted to use beef?
Beef, you just maybe sear it for a couple of minutes, especially if you're using sirloin or so, a more tender cut sirloin, ribeye. Just sear it and then slice it into nice slices.
So the same as the duck?
Yeah, pretty much like the duck. Depending on the cut of beef, you might have, rump would take a little bit longer. But you just remember that when you're doing that, you might need to add a little bit more stock just so it gives a little bit more time. And always remember, don't add the vegetables until you're almost ready to serve it like
Jeremy's
this.
asking, is this real duck or the fake duck that comes in tins?
This is real duck. I've never had duck in a tin. I've never heard of it. I've had tuna in a tin, but not duck. All right, so there we are. That is like really nearing being finished now. And to this, I want to add some lime leaves. So these are just lime leaves, which I've cut the stem out. I just love lime leaves. I love the flavor of them. I'll stir those in. This is just going to impart a really nice flavor to the curry. And then, so important, fish sauce. Now, people that are vegetarian or don't like fishy flavors, there are some really good fish sauces out there that are just fake fish sauce, really. It's for vegans and vegetarians. I usually add quite a lot. You'll have to add it. If you're not really familiar with fish sauce or the one you're using, I'd recommend using just a little bit first, maybe a tablespoon or two, because that's where the saltiness is going to come from, or most of the saltiness is going to come from for this dish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Thai basil. Thai basil has kind of an anisey flavor to it, so it's not the same as Western basil. But you can, one thing you just use the freshest ingredients you got, and use what you've got. So if you,
I think your mic might have gone out.
Has it
Three
gone
people
out?
have said. Have you pressed it?
Can you hear me now?
Hi, I think he might have nudged his microphone off.
All right, I might have. Am I there now?
I think so, yes.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add some of this coriander too. Now, if you can't get, one thing I want to really stress is if you can't get Thai basil, for example, go ahead and use regular basil. It'll give you a different flavor, but the flavors work. It will work. It'll be nice. There you are. Let's look at this.
Yeah, I think he managed to bang his microphone with his hand.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. Yeah, it's working.
Yes,
so yeah,
it's fine. Everyone can hear you now.
So go ahead and do that. And also like one of the key ingredients is galangal, and a lot of people think, well, can I substitute galangal ginger for galangal? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, you can. It's not going to taste bad. In fact, it will taste quite good. If you want it to taste authentic, then you're going to want to be using the galangal and find it. And yeah, you can find it online. You can find it at Asian shops. But because galangal and ginger, they taste completely different, but you can substitute one for the other. You
And
can.
someone's asking, can you replace the fish sauce with soy sauce?
You know what? I would give that a go. I wouldn't. The answer is no, because the fish sauce gives a really nice fishy flavor, and if you like that, great. If you don't,
It's salty as well. But
yeah,
then
it's
soy
salty.
sauce is
So I think the soy sauce.
probably,
If you're not really happy with the fishy flavor that you get in fish sauce, you could try. I'll probably be shocked by someone for saying this, but yeah, I would say go ahead and substitute it. Why not?
Doesn't sound bad.
I
does it?
love fish sauce, but I love soy sauce too. So are we back on this camera now?
Yes, you're back on the main
Great.
camera, and you've got
So,
sound.
Yeah, good. So yeah, there you go. That's it's. I think I've made this in about what 15 minutes, the most.
Yes.
And if I hadn't been talking, I would have finished it about 5 minutes ago. So it's that simple to make a restaurant quality jungle curry. It's that simple to make almost all the famous curries, because that's why they're in the restaurants, because you can make them fast. So green curry, mussel, jungle, you can make all these. You can whip them up very, very quickly. And I promise you that if you make your own curry pastes and you follow the recipes, you will be making Thai curries that are just as good, if not better.
Another question about the fish sauce.
Yeah.
Thai's asking, can you use fish stock?
Fish stock, that's completely a different thing. Yeah. Fish sauce is made by, it's fermented anchovies, which are fermented for about a year or so, I think, quite a long time. And that's what gives it this really strong fishy flavor. So it's completely different.
Yes, David's explaining it to everybody on the written chain. So good.
Yeah. So no, you can't substitute it. Would it taste good? Probably. So it's you just use what you've got. Luckily, almost every ingredient that I can think of that's in that book, in this book here, right here, all of them are very easily found. And even you didn't used to be this way, but you can go down, you can buy your fish sauce, you can buy all this stuff at the supermarket. So it's really, you're going to find it quite easy to find the ingredients. Or if you have a question or anything like that, if you have the book and you've got a question, can I do this? Can I do that? I'm always online, so I can answer your questions as well. So just to let those of you know that don't know yet, this is out tomorrow. So tomorrow is publication day. It's been a long time coming. And so if you pre-ordered, good chance. I know that the books are being dispatched. So I've seen lots of people saying that they've been dispatched. So they're on their way out to you. But as of tomorrow, it is officially published. It will also be at Costco, at Morrison's, Tesco,
and
Waitrose.
Is the book available in the US yet? I know a lot of people have been asking that.
It's not. It has not had. It's probably going to be a while, but it will be out in the US. But you can still get it in the US. Go to bookdepository.com, and that is. It's actually an Amazon company, but I believe it works out of the UK. But it's free delivery, so you can pay in dollars, and it's free delivery worldwide.
So we have another question about fish sauce. What's the difference between that and oyster sauce?
Oyster sauce is quite sweet, and it's made with real oysters, so it's
completely different flavour.
Yeah, completely different flavour.
Sounds like it'd be the same, but it's completely different.
Yeah, well, oyster sauce. If you get a good quality oyster sauce, that should be like the first, if not the second, but hopefully the first thing on the ingredients. It should be really, it's made with oysters, so that's a very important thing.
And lots of people are saying their book's arriving tomorrow, so everyone's happy that
Great.
the books are on the way.
This is a book, just like all of my books, that they come with backup. So I so much appreciate everyone going out there and getting the books. And I'm also online pretty much every day. So if you have any questions or any recipe questions, please feel free to contact me by Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And I'll be very happy to help. But hopefully I've explained everything in there. So it's I tried to write it as simply as possible, just to make sure that if you're new to this, that it's quite easy for you to figure out. But like I said, I'm always around to help. So
so you've said it. I know you've said it. Next Wednesday's yellow.
Yeah, next Wednesday's yellow curry. That'll be next Wednesday. So. Yeah, maybe some of you, if you get the book this week or if it arrives and you want to try making the yellow curry before then, let me know what you think of it. But we will be making that next week. You might want to make it with me next week. So just get all the ingredients together and we'll go ahead and put that together. We'll do that next week. But is that everything? Is that everything?
Yes, I think that's everything.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. And like I said, it's out tomorrow. So if you... are looking for a new Thai book, there you go. And I'll see you next Wednesday for yellow curry. And have a good evening. Thank you.
Okay.